I haven't bought a bottle of barbecue sauce in 12 years probably. You just don't need to. Memorial Day is coming up, so I thought it's a fitting time to start to talk about barbecue type stuff. I've got a new grill. We're gonna do a whole unboxing thing of that. But to roll into Memorial Day, which is coming up quick, we gotta get started. And today we're making barbecue sauce. There's something about it that's really important, right? To me, it is a sauce that you can make anytime that is straight from pantry ingredients that you should already have in your kitchen. I haven't bought a bottle of barbecue sauce in 12 years probably. You just don't need to. Everything that's in a bottled barbecue sauce is sitting in your house. You just need to put it all together. And today I'm gonna show you how. The way that I like barbecue sauce is I like it sweet, a little bit spicy in the back, and tangy. I like it to be a tomato based, so it's a little bit of like a mix between a Kansas City, a Carolina type barbecue sauce. And for me, it's just my all-purpose utility barbecue sauce that you could whip together in 5 to 10 minutes. And it's just always there for you. It's one of those things where I also just never really measure it. I make it to taste and with my eyeballs, so I know what I like a barbecue sauce to taste like. So by playing around with the proportions and everything, I can get it and tweak it just to the place that I want. So I'm gonna show you how I do that today. So let's just get right into it. So what I want to kind of show you is like a base kind of barbecue sauce that you could make that I think is just widely appealing. From here you can sort of take it anywhere. You can add like citrus or jams or any sort of crazy stuff like alcohol. I'm not going to use any fresh vegetables or anything. This is meant to always be able to be made whenever you need barbecue sauce based off what you should be having in your pantry, like I said. And so I just start off in a pan and I'm going to eyeball about 2 cups of ketchup. That's about 1. That's about 2 cups I'm eyeballing. Then we're gonna take about 3 tablespoons of just regular old mustard, yellow mustard. To me, that looks like 3 tablespoons, 2 tablespoons, whatever. It's gonna be fine. Then I want about like around a half a cup of white vinegar, or you could use apple cider vinegar. That sort of looks like it to me. I want about a 1/4 cup of Worcestershire sauce. Looks like about a 1/4 cup to me. Again, it's not going to be a big deal if you put too much in. You can always adjust based on your taste, adding a little bit more ketchup to balance out the flavor in the end. So again, it's not something you need to really worry about precision-wise. About 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. 1, 2. That's another way to do a tablespoon, is to just sort of do a 1 count, like a bartender would. Then about 2 tablespoons of molasses, and I'm just gonna use a spoon because this stuff is a little bit tricky to work with. The molasses adds a nice color, and it's also gonna add some sweetness. I don't like using liquid smoke in any sort of cooking application. I think it tastes a little weird. So if anything, you can use a smoked paprika, a smoked salt, but if you smell it, it actually has a smoky kind of barbecue element to it, which is really what adds a lot of this flavor. Then about like 3 tablespoons of your favorite hot sauce. 1, 2, 3. At this point you have all of your wet ingredients in. So let's just kind of give it a stir and check out the consistency that we're at. And again, I just use this pot so you can kind of see what's going on in it. Use a saucepan, or you can use a wide pan, doesn't matter. This is a non-stick, so I don't want to use a whisk, but that's the benefit of using a saucepan, is whisking this up really well. Give it a taste. It's almost perfect. Just gotta add a few things like some brown sugar. I want about a half cup, so I'm just gonna kind of pinch out a half cup. And And then we're gonna start to add our spices in. And the main ingredient I wanna add is chili powder. So I'm gonna start with about 2 teaspoons of that. So maybe that's 2 teaspoons right there. I have a little bit of ground cumin, so I'm gonna do just about equal amounts of that. And since I have a little mound already that's about 2 teaspoons, I can just sort of measure it out next to it, roughly. And then a little bit of mustard powder, maybe a half teaspoon, a half teaspoon of paprika, half teaspoon of coriander, half teaspoon of onion powder, and half teaspoon of garlic powder. And then a half teaspoon of cayenne. That's gonna be delicious. I don't even think I have to tweak it at all. But this is how I like it. If it's a little too acidic for you, then you can add a little bit more honey, molasses, a little bit of brown sugar. If it's a little bit too sweet, you can add some more acidity or some spiciness, some more hot sauce or some cayenne. If it's too loose, you could add a little bit more ketchup. If it doesn't taste full enough, you could add something like more Worcestershire sauce. So you can play around with it. But like once you have this, you can take it in so many directions that are creative, but I don't think you really need to. I think this is gonna be perfect. Just gotta get it hot, get everything melted, give it a few minutes on the heat, and you're good to go. So let's bring it onto the stove and wrap this up. It's so delicious. It's smooth, but it's acidic. There's a little bit of a spiciness that hits you in the back of the throat from the cayenne, but it's got a sweetness, but it's not like overly sweet. Man, this goes well with literally anything. It's not missing that smoke flavor. And you saw how easy it was to make. This took like 5 minutes. Barbecue sauces to me are a lot like a vinaigrette. I honestly see no reason why one would ever pay money for it at the store when everything you need for it sits in your pantry. It takes a few minutes to put together. This is probably gonna last at least a month in the refrigerator. Airtight, no problem. So there you have it. All-purpose, sweet and tangy, barbecue sauce, ready for ribs, pork, beef, chicken, fish, whatever you want. This is good stuff here. I hope you try it. What's happening next episode? I think we're making coleslaw. We might be making ribs. I haven't really figured out yet. The way I plan my episodes is very much like a musician might plan his set lists. Always in flux. I'm always determining what the best order of things to come out is. So I think it might be some coleslaw, and then I think ribs, and then I think Alaskan king crab rolls. The idea of lobster rolls and make it in a way at home where you don't necessarily have to kill a lobster or take it apart. Alaskan king crab legs are better than lobster in my opinion. And it's gonna be delicious. So stay tuned. That's all that I have today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Until then, take care of yourself and go feed yourself.